first of all, let me just congratulate all of you, each one of you. After completing that assessment, trust me, I know it wasn't that easy, to get through. And you definitely need to feel proud of yourself that, oh, you got through. So it is somewhere, somewhere I would say it's somewhere close to the same way, like you clear your interview exams or job interview. So it was more of like the same, because I tried to put all of those things which are really, really important in order to know. But I would still say that was not your best performance. That was not at all. It was just hypothetically. So I would not give you any wrong impression or wrong perception about yourself. You still need a lot of things to improve upon. All right, but you can consider yourself, you can feel proud about it, that out of I think there were 20 registration which I found, and out of 20 you are the people who have got through that eligibility test. So feel proud about it. Are you feeling proud?
Yep.
Yes.
No way.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yes,
you
sir.
can. That's somewhere it is a kind of achievement, you have done it. So that's good, that's a great work, good job. Okay, and now we all will go ahead and I'm going to share you a few things, very, very important. Okay, so this is going to be your first class, or you can call it as a interview preparation class. So I know we have covered a lot of things, but before we proceed further, let me ask you a few questions. Okay, and then we will take it from there. So let me know, I know that you have already answered these questions. You have already answered these questions, but still, let me ask you, this question. The first question which you answered, tell me something about yourself. So, what do you think we should consider within that answer? What should be there as an answer?
About myself. Like
Okay, of course, of course.
somewhere we
Yeah.
explain unnecessary things.
Hmm. True, true.
So we should avoid that, I think.
Okay.
Sir,
Like family information.
before first interview class, I was thinking that I should just write things about myself, whatever I am. But after listening you, I thought that I should not write this. I should write about thinking of, means I want to say that what interviewer want to listen from
Hmm.
my side. I should write according to this,
Okay.
which is also related to me, but related to him too.
All right. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. What about others? What do you have to say? When you have to answer this question, if somebody, imagine you are going for an interview, be it is a job interview, be it is a marriage interview, be it is your parents meeting wherein you've been asked this question. Okay, tell me something about yourself. It's a very, 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 very common question which everybody asks you.
We
So,
should mention our any skill like
okay, skills. All right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Champa, do you want to say something? Sujata, you didn't say anything.
Bhaiya, I think introduction can be of two types. Like one is formal. In interviews, we use formal introduction,
Mm-hmm.
and when we meet any unknown person or any other person, then the introduction will be informal.
Right. Very valid point. The interview has to be formal and informal. Absolutely. Very true. Very true. But let me bring this question. Now, let me help you. Let me give you some hints about it. How to derive an introduction, or what are the things which you basically need to cover in tell me something about yourself. Okay, so whenever there is a question, when an interviewer or maybe anyone, be it ask you this question, tell me something about yourself, then what should be your state of mind? That is something which will decide how do you have to answer it. Very important. Imagine, let me give you a scenario. Imagine you are going for a job interview for a sales profile or maybe for a financial profile. So you always need to focus on those good qualities of yours. Let me give you a very straight, answer to this. Imagine I am a boy or I am a girl. Imagine. So I am going to meet a boy or a handsome boy, or maybe I'm going to meet a very beautiful girl. Then what do we always try? We always try to impress him or her by our words, by our body language, by our way of speaking, by our words, vocabulary, impressions, body language, smile, all of these things. Don't we do that? We always try that, right? That's
Yes.
very fair. The similar approach you need to take on when you are going and when you are applying for a job interview. But but there is a difference. Now, when you are applying for a job interview, then you need to understand what your manager, what your HR, what are the other person who is sitting, the other side of the table, what does he want to listen from you?
Hmm.
He's definitely not looking at your school life, your college life, your okay. To answer
Personal
your question,
things.
Bharti, of course, interviewer would always like to know about your family, but not in detail,
Right.
in a very crisp manner, because that actually gives an interviewer a hint or an idea what kind of a family do you belong to. Because okay, let me give you an example. If I am going to interview someone, then obviously I want to know that this person has come from a serviceman family or a businessman family or a struggling family or a rich family.
So
That
your
actually
connection
gives me,
is
as an interviewer, a great idea that okay, this person is from a serviceman family, then I'm sure this person or this girl will have a great idea about how a serviceman or how a service industry works. When you imagine, when you say my brother is working in a so and so corporate company, then of course I will get a fair idea that you have a hint of corporate world, how corporate works. So probably I'll have to spend less time in training you. These are very small things which interviewer actually looks into in an interviewee. All right. Okay. So let's take one thing first. Let's go step by step now. So the first step, whenever you start your tell me something about yourself, obviously you always have to have a smile on your face when you're talking to the person. Be it you are a boy or a girl, you should look confident, because you can only smile when you're confident, right? You can't smile when you are nervous. You know, yes, you'll start fumbling, right? When you are smiling, it gives a very positive impact to the interviewer. So there are, okay, imagine, I would say nobody is perfect. Likewise, an interviewer is also judging you, also, trying to understand whether you are confident, you will be an asset to the company or a liability, right? So that is something which an interviewer observe. Now, there are few things which he checks. Let me give you a fair idea about it first. So when you introduce yourself, the first question, what an interviewer usually judge in a person is one, the whether you are going to be an asset or a liability. And that is something can only be judged whether you are confident. If you are a confident girl or a confident boy, obviously you can be an asset to the company. It's not at all, it's okay, understand. You can't say you know everything about the world. Likewise, you may not know about the corporate things, how the corporate works. But obviously, if you are confident, you can always learn it. So an interviewer always looks for a person who knows how or are you confident? Then you can obviously go ahead and learn it. Make sense? Okay, let's bring your question if you have any. You want to say something?
Uh, I have one question.
Yes, please, Sujata.
In an official interview, what are the things we should include in our introduction?
Okay, very good question. See, to be honest, Sujata, this is an answer which I cannot give you. Okay, you know what you've asked me. You've asked me a very good question. I appreciate that, but this question is like that. Tell me a one diet plan which fits for everyone. This question is as simple as you've asked me a diet plan which is fit for everyone, every personality. You getting me? So, an introduction, tell me something about yourself. It looks as simple, but it can't be as simple. That is what I'm trying to tell you, that you always have to decide, you always have to see whether this person is looking for these qualities or this person is looking for these qualities. So, according to the profession, according to the personality, you yourself have to decide. I gave you an example. We will discuss about different type of interviews in terms of professions as well. We'll talk about it. But let me give you a basic information to answer your question. The basic which always apply would be your name. All right, obviously. So you never ever have to use myself Ravi. That's absolutely wrong. So it always has to be I am Ravi or my name is Ravi. One, you always have to mention your name. But imagine there is also a flaws. If an interviewer has called you with your name, imagine you have stepped in and he said, Ravi, come in. Now you are not supposed to tell your name again. You'll not say, my name is Ravi. Oh my God, he knows. You can't repeat your name all over again. So you'll have to be cautious enough. So this is something you
Sir,
can't have, yeah, the spoon feed. I'll say, okay, these are the 10 things which you need to remember and go in an interview, you'll get through. No, there is no as such a rapid formula which I am going to give you. If that is going to be the case, I'm sure everybody in this world can get through in an interview. Because interview, when you name this word interview, that means the person is viewing you in order to decide or judge you, and he or she who is taking your interview will always have a different parameter. Everyone has a different parameter in order to judge you. So you basically need to learn what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to help you with. That is, I'm going to help you to learn how to know the person, what he actually wants from you, or what he actually wants to listen from you. That is something which we are going to understand. That is something which we are going to practice. All right, because if I start telling you the answers, so those answers are available in the YouTubes or in a lot of news channel. Wherever you go, you'll find all those answers which are predominantly clearly written on the on internet. Am I making sense, Sujata?
Yes.
Okay, so the basic thing. Okay, now but still there are few things which you can always mention. The first thing is about your name. Second thing, you can always talk about your qualification, what you've done, but that is how you portray, how you showcase it. That is really important. Okay,
Yeah,
and yeah,
before name, is it necessary to greet the person like good
see
evening?
again, again that is a great situation. Very good question, Sujata. But imagine
Hmm.
you've been asked. Okay, imagine there is a cabin. Okay, let's take a one situation for Sujata. Imagine there is a cabin and you were waiting outside in the lobby, and somebody went outside and said, Sujata, and you said, okay, I am here, and you stepped in, and the one who called you, he is sitting in the cabin. So there will be another person who is sitting in the cabin. He will, now there it becomes your,
Sir, excuse me, sir. I'm
yeah, please.
interrupting you. Sir, your voice has lost so much time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Priyankadi. Thank you. Okay. I'm sure it won't disturb you now. Okay. So imagine there is a different situation. Somebody calls you and you stepped in. Now it becomes your responsibility. When you stepped in, you can say, "May I come in?" Or you can knock the door and you step in, and then you can probably wish that person, "Good afternoon, sir. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good evening." That's a different situation. But where is a situation you were sitting all together, you all were sitting together, and everybody was giving interview. And now it's not at all required to greet that person because he has already seen you. He has already he knows your name also. So you can straight away start your further qualification, why you want to apply, all of that stuff. So these are few things which you can always decide upon that situation. You get it, Sujata?
Yes.
Sir, sir,
Don't
but
worry, Sujata. We will do the practice. I will take interview for each one of you. But now what I'm giving you the gist. I'm giving you the summary how you actually need to think while you are facing an interview. So do not think or do not have this expectation that I'll give you these 10 points and you will memorize them and you will get into an interview and you'll say, wow, I am through. So there is no miracle. All
You
right,
are selected.
Sujata? Yeah.
Yes,
Sujata, are
Bhaiya.
you with me?
Yes, yes.
Or do we have any such kind of expectation from anybody? Do we have anyone who has this expectation that Ravi sir will give 10 points to us, that these are the points you need to memorize and you go and interview and you will be through?
No.
And honestly, if that would have been the case, I would have become an IAS officer by now. Okay, just kidding. Fine. All right. So, but still, let's assume a situation for today that you all are here, and you all will go through for a financial job interview. All right. So today we will talk about only this financial job interview. So understand this situation if you're applying for a financial job interview. All right. So now, what are the things which you need to consider? First, you need to mention your name, obviously, when you step in, according to the situation. One. Second, you always have to mention about your qualification, what you have done. Now, if your qualification matches the requirement, imagine the requirement was that you should be good at financial numbers. And now you have done some medical work, you have never been into financial numbers, you can skip your part. You don't need to mention it in detail. You can simply say that yes, I did my graduation in medicals or maybe in BHMS, and probably I shifted to my profession into a financial job and I did some financial work and auditing and reconciliations. All those financial terms you can use in your introduction. And then you can also mention about your financial job profile, what all information, what all queries you have, and then probably you can move further, because you always have to focus what the other person wants to listen from you. Then obviously I'm a financial guy, I'm looking for a person who is good at financials, who is good at numbers. So obviously I need a person who is good at it. All right. So this is something which you can always focus on. Now what I'm going to do, we will start your interview and we will see how much have you understood. All right. And we will do it one by one. So before we proceed further, do we have any question from anybody?
Yes,
Bhaiya,
Bhaiya.
Sir,
Okay,
sir, I
you.
don't know a single word about financial. I don't
Yeah,
know.
me too.
Yeah. So no worries, Priyankadi. You will not be the first one to go for an interview. So you can obviously
Right.
learn from other people when they'll speak.
Bhaiya, regarding my qualification, can I cook something other like
Of
other
course.
degree.
You no, okay. Be
For this
realistic.
situation,
You can't cook anything, but it's just that what you need to do, you need to relate it.
okay.
Imagine you were doing this much of financial work earlier, but
Yeah.
when it comes to representation, you need to represent this much.
Yeah. Okay then.
That's simple. This is something which
Uh,
you'll have to do.
Sir,
Yeah.
for the network problem, I can't get the first point that what we say first time for financial job interview. Second is
Anindita, for that matter,
qualification. We
you'll
have
have to
to.
go back to the YouTube and view this video.
Okay, sir.
Apologies. Okay. Yes. Anyone
Hmm.
else? Do you have any question? Okay. If not, let's do one thing. Now we will start the interview round. So each one of you will go through an interview wherein we will be, probably I'll be considered as an interviewer and you all will be answering it. And there will only be one question. One question, tell me something about yourself. That's it. Today we will only do practice about this question, how to answer this question in a best way. All right? Perfect. And of course, we will do some rehearsals accordingly. And what all shortcomings will come now. So you all can do the practice about it. All right? Perfect. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.